Hello everyone, today is 16th of February, Friday, so I hope you will have a wonderful day and a great upcoming weekend. Now it's 15 to 11 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for a day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. There are quite a few very significant developments and news that I'd like to share with you for this moment, but before I start, let me note for all the members of our community who will watch this video on YouTube that I have a channel on the Rumble platform also that I'm actively trying to develop, and I will be immensely grateful if you will consider to join our community on Rumble and subscribe to my channel. You can see links on this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. On Rumble I share all the videos that I have on YouTube, and in addition from Monday to Thursday or Friday, it depends. I have also live streams. With Telegram Reports program, which is, in my opinion, good opportunity to have an exchange of opinion in real time. So hopefully these live streams will help me at least a little bit to generate additional interest among members of our community towards my Rumble channel. And well, if you can, please watch my videos on Rumble, if you will not subscribe even, because that will be also support of this small media project of mine. And well, that's been said, let's talk about news now. And first of all, of course, short summary of the situation on Ukrainian battlefield. And I will start with Avdiivka, because the Russian armed forces achieved great breakthrough in this direction in last 24 hours, and well, as a result of increased pressure from Russian side and Russian local scale offensive operations, Ukrainian defense lines collapsed basically. Avdiivka, Ukrainian garrison of Avdiivka is collapsing and running away. Many units from this garrison, many Ukrainian units already run away, and in midst of chaos, some units were opening fire on their own comrades. So there were many instances of friendly fire during this chaotic retreat of Ukrainian formations from Avdiivka. Although, by the way, for this moment, still thousands of Ukrainian soldiers are trapped in residential area of Avdiivka in the central and southern parts, and also in northern industrial zone. Russian armed forces yesterday cut and established physical control over the main supply and support line of Ukrainian units in central and southern eastern parts. That goes from northern industrial zone. I did share on my Telegram video when Russian forces were establishing flag on the area, on the entrance of Avdiivka, where Zelensky was posing in December. That was December, if I'm not mistaken. And I said straight away that this is not good sign for Avdiivka's garrison. And it is. Ukrainian defense lines are collapsing. Russian armed forces not just cut this main supply and support line for a garrison of Avdiivka, but also established control over this filtration station on the southern eastern part, and according to some military channels, Ukrainian units withdraw not just from this station but also from this forestry, and are trying now to somehow establish new defense lines inside the city. Not really effectively, but they are at least trying before they will receive order to withdraw the city. Same time, Russian armed forces established control over this so-called air defense base on the name of Zenit on the southern eastern part of Avdiivka. And by the way, this stronghold on the name of Rashka is also under complete Russian control right now. If you are wondering what Rashka means, then this is Rashka, by the way, a Soviet era cartoon character. And as you can see, Rashka has big ears, and if you take a look at this interception, it looks like big ears, isn't it? And that's why this area received this nickname, Rashka, and it was a Ukrainian stronghold. but Russian forces established full control over this territory. During the retreat, Ukrainian units left their wounded personnel in this area, and yesterday afternoon, and from many other areas, by the way, also. And yesterday afternoon, I watched a video, quite dramatic video, of Ukrainian soldier who was calling to his family to say last goodbye. This soldier was wounded and left behind, together with a number of other wounded personnel, and this soldier was saying that they were promised that evacuation will come for them, but they did not. So these wounded soldiers were left behind. And by the way, I read this morning account of one of the Ukrainian soldiers that withdraw from position and retreated, and this soldier was saying, and he was in this military base, by the way, air defense base, and he was saying that he managed to retreat and reach this 9th district of Avdiivka, which is still under control of Ukrainian forces for now. He managed to do it on only after second attempt, and the entire this area, these fields between this military base and 9th district is, according to this military person of Ukrainian army, is full with killed Ukrainian soldiers. He also noticed that there are friendly instances of friendly fire, because communication is breaking down, and Ukrainian units are not really understand where is Ukrainian units and where is the Russian units. They are basically shooting at everyone. Panic is in the city, of course, among Ukrainian garrison. And this soldier also noticed, by the way, that he have been given order, not him but his unit, to retreat and leave behind the wounded personnel. And well, according to him, some evacuations supposed to go to take those wounded soldiers, but it never did. So it's official. It's official that Kyiv regime basically leaving wounded soldiers on the battlefield without even trying to evacuate them. Many instances of this type of behavior from Ukrainian units. As I said, it's a total mess. It's a hell for Ukrainian armed forces in this area, and at this point, I guess it's only a matter of days, and most likely before end of next week, Avdiivka will be under full Russian control. I expect huge number of Ukrainian soldiers to lay down arms and surrender, hundreds. But let's see if that will become true. And also, I lost my line of thoughts. But anyway, I guess before end of next week, Avdiivka will be under full Russian control. And yes, I remember that I was thinking to share with you information about this so-called elite 3rd Assault Brigade of Ukraine's Strategic Reserve. That brigade was directed or deployed to Avdiivka area. And according to some reports that I see on military channels, that brigade already suffered in just several days up to 600 military personnel casualties, and many units of that 3rd brigade, which is Azov Nazi brigade, by the way, refused to obey orders and left their positions. So this information is also quite telling about state of Ukrainian armed forces, and they are definitely closing in, not just in Avdiivka, but in general, to the breaking point. So most likely in upcoming weeks and months, we will see collapse of Ukrainian defense lines in many other directions also, because it's becoming obvious that Ukrainian armed forces are on the brink of collapse. When it will happen, when this collapse will happen, I don't know, but it will not take too long. I believe. And this is it, by the way, when it comes to situation in Avdiivka. Of course, military channels will provide much bigger, much greater volume of detailed information about this. Changes, developments on the line of contact, and if you are interested in more detailed information, of course, I will recommend those military channels. When it comes to other sectors of the front line, Russian units are increasing pressure. Of course, on daily basis, Ukrainian army has heavy losses in Krasny Liman sector of the front line. Yesterday, for example, according to Russian Defense Ministry's report on progress of special military operation in previous 24 hours, Ukrainian armed forces lost more than 300 military personnel just in Krasny Liman sector of the front line, even more military personnel in Donetsk sector of the front line. Also, Donetsk sector, Ukrainian armed forces lost more than 200 military personnel. So, as a result of increased pressure from Russian forces, Ukrainian army is taking huge losses, despite the fact that Russian armed forces are not yet conducting some large-scale offensive operations. Even Avdiivka operation is a sectoral level operation. It's nothing to be called large-scale. No, it's just some sectoral scale offensive, and that's it. Although Avdiivka itself, of course, has a huge importance because Ukrainian armed forces using for years and years Avdiivka area to conduct shelling of Donetsk and surrounding settlements. Well, this is it for now. I will just add that lately, in last several days, many channels are reporting about a huge concentration of Russian forces in Zaporizhia sector of the front line, and there are some predictions that Russian army will start large-scale offensive operation in this sector. I don't know if it will happen, but well, that's information that we are seeing on Russian segment of internet, and usually this information comes from outside of Russia. Russian Defense Ministry is saying nothing about it, and Russian media outlets are saying nothing about it. So I'm not sure that large-scale Russian offensive being planned in Zaporizhia sector, although I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if it will happen. And this is it for a short summary of the situation on Ukrainian battlefield. Now let's go through some other news, additional news. RIA Novosti's report about retreat of a number of Ukrainian units from Avdiivka. I already spoke about it. I guess it's just a matter of days, and well, Avdiivka most likely will be under full Russian control. I have doubts that Ukrainian garrison will manage to stabilize a line of contact. RIA Novosti's report, by the way, that Putin, president of Russian Federation, visited Ural Zavod in Nizhny Tagil city. Ural Zavod is a major, this company, this manufacturing plant is a major producer of tanks, main battle tanks in Russia, and Putin's visit definitely will not just highlight how important it is for a country, for armed forces, military-industrial complex to continue hard work and increase production of weapons. But his visit to this company, of course, will be also acknowledgement of importance of the work that employees of these factories are doing on daily basis. And of course, one may even see some parallels, by the way, with the Great Patriotic War, when, of course, factories were working 24/7 to produce tanks, to produce artillery systems, planes, everything that was necessary for a front. So, interesting step. And I believe Putin's visit will definitely encourage employees of Ural Zavod to work even harder, although they are doing great job, undoubtedly. And more tanks most likely will be produced, if it's possible. I mean, if it's technically possible, then more tanks will be produced. I have no doubts about that. And well, Putin did make quite a number of statements. He spoke about T-90M Russian tank. According to him, T-90 Prorив is a best tank, main battle tank in the world right now. And I will say it's I'm not military expert, and I think Armata is supposed to be best tank in the world, but Armata is not in serial production. Yes, therefore, well, I will agree that after Armata, then the T-90M is the best tank in many ways. In many ways, although members of our community from Germany, from UK, from US may argue that Leopard 2 is better, or Challenger 2 is better, or Abrams is the best tank in the world. But well, I will say T-90M is a better one, more suitable for real battles in high intensity conflict, and it's true, by the way, in my personal opinion. Although it's all about preferences. I mean. Anyway, let's continue. TASS news agencies report that General Inspector of Armed Forces of Germany promised new head of Ukraine's General Staff, Syrsky, additional military aid for 100 million euros. Mainly, Germany will deliver under this package transport vehicles, trucks for Kiev regime. And well, no, Germany's government is not losing any opportunity, not missing any opportunity to demonstrate how anti-Russian and how Russophobe they are, and this information only confirms that. RIA Novosti's report that House of Representatives, by the way, in US went for holidays without voting for initiated by Biden this military aid package for Ukraine, Israel and Taiwan, which is quite interesting move, I guess, at least until 28th of February. There will be no votes in the House floor about that Biden's initiative, which will allocate 60 billion plus for Kiev regime. And well, one should acknowledge that House representatives put up some good fight against military-industrial complex and corrupt officials and White House. It's already like 2 months, if not more, that they are refusing to vote for this initiative of the Biden. Eventually they will, probably, but let's see. RIA Novosti's report also that US is initiating talks with Russia about this so-called space program, military space program that Russia is supposed to have or allegedly have, which according to which Russia is planning to deploy some nuclear weapon systems into the space. Well, of course, last several days there was a huge panic in US elites and media about this new scaremongering topic that Russia is deploying some nukes in the space. I don't believe in this, by the way. In my personal opinion, this is a hoax story. Yet another step from Biden's administration to demonize Russia and to put some additional pressure on House Republicans. And that's it, really. I don't think Russia is planning to put some nukes into space. Even scientists, by the way, are stating that nukes in space not really great idea, because if you use nukes, you may damage not just equipment of potential enemy, but you can damage your own equipment also, because this electromagnet burst of these charged particles or electromagnet impulse will not make any difference between the electronic systems that they will disable. So I'm skeptical of all this story that Russia is planning to put some nukes in space, but you know, if this story will be used by Washington to initiate some talks with Russia, okay, nothing bad in this. Superpowers have to talk, undoubtedly, and well, let's see how this story will develop next. But talks itself are good, definitely good. Some additional lines of communication most likely will be created, and this will little bit decrease chances that that sides will unintentionally, let's say, cross real red lines, after which there will be no way back, after which some full-scale disaster may take place. So let superpowers talk. RIA Novosti's report that, well, journalists, by the way, independent journalists in US, with participation of writer Metaibi, Alex Gutentag, and the writer Michael Schellenberg, come up with investigation and in Russiagate, on Russiagate, and according to them, this entire Russiagate story was perpetrated or created, basically, and orchestrated by CIA, which is not really surprising. Many of us probably think that U.S. Secret Services are involved in this mess, and well, they are, according to investigation that this well-known and respected journalist conducted. Well, it was CIA behind this Russiagate story about Trump's connection with Russia. And of course, it was false story, fake news from the beginning. But fact itself that CIA and deep state was involved to derail presidency of Trump definitely highlights that there are some kind of civil war inside the ruling elites of the US, because Trump is formally, one may see Trump as an outsider, but let's be clear, behind him also are very powerful forces. He is just a front runner for those forces, and if deep state, if CIA was actively involved in to derail Trump's presidency, how that can be definitely interpreted as a kind of civil war among these powerful groups in the US that are running the show in reality. Which is interesting, interesting to know. RT's report, by the way, that, well, first, Greece became first Orthodox Christian country to legalize gay marriage. Greek lawmakers have voted to legalize same-sex weddings in the country, despite staunch opposition from the Orthodox Church of Greece and almost half of the population. Why almost half of the population? I don't understand that. I need to see some social studies on that. I think vast majority of Greek society is Orthodox Christian, and therefore most likely they will oppose. Probably they will oppose this same-sex marriages. But I don't know. I don't know, man. If I share with you what I think about this news, YouTube will most likely delete my channel, so I will just say nothing. But this is, well, Greece is heading towards, I don't know, you tell me towards which direction, man. But it's their decision if they want families between man and man and families between woman and woman. And if they think this is the real family and not when man and woman are together, then I mean, who am I to tell them what is wrong and what is right, isn't it? It's their life. You know, me personally think marriage is only between man and woman. That's it. There cannot be no other legal interpretation of family. It's man and woman. That's it. And there is no buts after that. No one is saying that these people, these gay people, LGBTQ, whatever alphabet number is there, should be prosecuted or something negative happen to them. No, their rights have to be protected, obviously. Their basic rights on safety and security and so on, but I mean, family, philosophy of family and understanding of family and family traditions and values, this is also, I mean, I think these values should stay unchanged. That's what I will say. And it's good that nothing like that will ever happen in Russia. Let's say it this way. I mean, those people can do whatever they want, man. They can live with whoever they want. They can call themselves wardrobe if they want to, or whatever, man. What is wrong with you, Greece? Anyway, let's continue. RT's report, by the way, that Japan loses crown as the world's third biggest economy. And you're gonna be surprised to learn to which country Japan lost its third position. To Germany, by the way. To Germany, that is also experiencing huge difficulties in economy. But, well, seems like Japan is even in worse conditions. Japanese economy is even in worse conditions, and because of the significant drop, somewhat significant drop in GDP in the and towards the end of last year, Japanese economy now is only 4.2 trillion, while German economy is 4.5 trillion. And therefore, Germany, by this GDP measure, is the third economy in the world. And by the way, I remind you that there is other index also, purchasing power parity index. And according to that index, Russia is #1 economy in the Europe. Not Germany, it's Russia. And some experts are saying that this purchasing power parity index is much more adequate, much more realistic index than this classical GDP. Anyway, let's continue. And that's maybe true, by the way, because maybe Western ruling elites were looking for GDP numbers in classical understanding. And they think, well, Russia's GDP is nowhere near to US GDP, nowhere near to EU's GDP. And it is true. In classical terms, US GDP is like, I don't know, man, it's 24 trillion, isn't it? And Russian GDP is 3 trillion something. And of course, US GDP is, uncomparably bigger. And German's GDP is also significantly bigger. But in purchasing power parity terms, well, picture is little different. US is still huge in the second place after China, but Germany is after Russia then. And maybe this misunderstanding of Russian economy led the Western ruling elites to this trap or to this illusion that they can put some little pressure on Russia, some sanctions, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 sanctions, 20,000 sanctions, and Russian economy will collapse, but Russian economy did not. And maybe exactly because they were misled by this GDP index, while if they look more closely to purchasing power parity index, they might have better understanding how complex and diverse, by the way, Russian economy really is. Anyway, let's continue. Next news is that UK is slipped to recession. The British economy fell into recession in the final quarter of 2023, according to official figures released on Tuesday. GDP dropped by 0.3% in the fourth quarter, following 0.1% decline in the previous quarter. The Office of National Statistics has said, and this is, by the way, technical recession. If economy in two following quarters are retracted, then that's technical recession, and the UK is heading towards real recession. Then, if that's technical, then further drop of economics numbers will be the recession. And we all know that UK and Germany and France, I mean, these major economies in Europe are not in the best shape. And I don't really see any realistic possibilities on the horizon that these economies will regain momentum anytime soon or ever. RTs report that US debt to top 54 trillion. According to Budget Office, US national debt could surge by 19 trillion over the next decade to surpass 54 trillion mark, owning the mounting cost of an aging population and their higher interest expenses. Well, at this point, I don't think anybody gonna get surprised whenever they hear these trillions and trillions in US debt. And I guess this report is little optimistic, because in next 10 years, if Washington continues in the current trajectory, US debt will most likely increase much bigger than 19 trillion. 19 trillion, it's 5 years. 5-7 years, and this 19 trillion will be reached. So I guess in 10 years time, most likely US will borrow additional, I don't know, 20-25 trillion at least. Anyway, let's continue. TASS news agencies report that EU Brussels are not have plans to prolong contracts on transit of Russian gas through Ukraine, and by the way, current contracts will expire with the 2024. And seems like no one side, at least for now, not EU, not Ukraine, not Russia, are not in talks, are not even having plans to prolong this transit deal through Ukraine, which is a big deal, especially for European states that are still receiving Russian gas from Ukraine. Without this pipeline gas, which is significantly cheaper than, let's say, LNG, liquefied natural gas, economies of those countries, of course, gonna suffer and be forced to buy more expensive LNG, and therefore lose competitiveness on the world market, increase prices in domestically, and same time lose competitiveness on the world stage, which is just logical, isn't it? But it's only beginning of 2024, let's say. Maybe towards the end of this year, sides will begin talk about prolongation of this contracts. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. And well, this is it for now. I will end this video if I may, and hopefully you will find this quite short update interesting, useful, informative, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything, any topic you like. And if you can, please share links to my videos or my channel video friends on any of the platforms that you are actively using. It will definitely help to reach wider audience and further develop this small media project of mine. And if you think my work, and this channel is interesting, useful, informative, and deserves to exist, please consider to support with small donations through PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or by subscribing to my Patreon page, on which, by the way, I have regular news updates, second news updates on every weekday. You can see links under this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care.